Have you ever wondered why you keep attracting the same type of partners into your life? Why your relationships seem to follow familiar patterns, even when you consciously try to choose differently? You're not alone. This mysterious pattern is exactly what Carl Jung, one of psychology's most profound thinkers, dedicated years to understanding. Today, we're diving deep into Jung's revolutionary insights about how our inner world shapes our romantic relationships, and how by doing the right internal work, you can finally break free from destructive patterns and attract the love you truly desire. But first, I want you to pause for a moment. Think about your last relationship, or your current one. What patterns do you recognize? What aspects of that person both attracted and frustrated you? Because what I'm about to share might completely transform how you view love and relationships forever. Jung uncovered something remarkable. We don't just randomly fall in love with people. There's a powerful unconscious process at work, one that most people remain completely unaware of throughout their entire lives. And this ignorance costs them dearly. You see, Jung discovered that we're all carrying hidden parts of ourselves, aspects we've repressed, denied, or simply never developed. He called this our shadow. And here's the fascinating part. We're magnetically drawn to people who embody these hidden qualities. It's as if our psyche is desperately trying to become whole by finding these missing pieces in others. Think about it. Have you ever been powerfully attracted to someone who possessed qualities completely opposite to yours? The free spirit attracted to the stable, structured partner, the quiet introvert drawn to the life of the party, the responsible caretaker falling for someone who needs rescuing. This isn't coincidence, it's your unconscious searching for wholeness. But here's where most relationships go wrong. We project these disowned parts of ourselves onto our partners, making them responsible for carrying qualities we haven't developed in ourselves. And eventually, the very things that attracted us become the source of our deepest frustrations. Jung called this process projection, and understanding it is absolutely critical if you want to break free from destructive relationship patterns. Because the uncomfortable truth is this: your partner isn't solely responsible for your relationship problems. They're often just the screen onto which you're projecting your own unresolved issues. Let me ask you a powerful question. What qualities do you most desperately want in a partner? Take a moment to really consider this. Perhaps it's confidence, emotional expressiveness, assertiveness, or nurturing. Whatever these qualities are, here's Jung's revolutionary insight. These are precisely the qualities you need to develop within yourself. But wait, you might be thinking, isn't the whole point of a relationship to find someone who complements me, who has strengths where I have weaknesses? Yes and no. Healthy relationships do involve complementary strengths, but there's a profound difference between conscious complementarity and unconscious projection. When you're unconsciously projecting, you're not just appreciating your partner's different qualities. You're making them responsible for aspects of yourself that you've neglected. You're essentially asking them to live parts of your life for you. And that's a burden no relationship can sustain long-term. Jung understood that true love, lasting, fulfilling love, can only happen between two people who are each striving toward wholeness within themselves. As he famously said, "The meeting of two personalities is like the contact of two chemical substances. If there is any reaction, both are transformed." This brings us to one of Jung's most profound teachings about relationships, the concept of individuation, the lifelong process of becoming your complete self. And paradoxically, this deeply personal journey is the foundation for the most profound connections with others. Think about your own relationships. How often have you sought a partner to make you feel complete, to fill a void inside you, to give you a sense of worth or security that you couldn't find within yourself? Most of us do this unconsciously, and then wonder why our relationships eventually collapse under such impossible expectations. Jung would tell you that this approach has it backward. The path to finding fulfilling love isn't about finding the perfect person who completes you. It's about embarking on the journey of becoming complete within yourself and then finding someone who is on a similar path. So what does this inner work actually look like? How do you begin the process of becoming the person you want to attract? The first step is facing your shadow, those disowned parts of yourself that you've been seeking in others. This requires brutal honesty. What qualities have you been consistently attracted to in partners? What do these people represent that you feel you lack? For example, if you're consistently attracted to highly confident, assertive people, Jung would suggest that you have disowned your own power and assertiveness. If you're drawn to free-spirited, creative types, perhaps you've neglected your own creative expression. The very qualities you seek in others are precisely what you need to develop within yourself. This shadow work isn't easy. It means confronting aspects of yourself that you've kept hidden, sometimes even from yourself. It means acknowledging your own capacity for behaviors and feelings that you may have judged in others. But this work is absolutely essential if you want to break free from destructive relationship patterns. The second aspect of this inner work involves understanding your anima or animus, Jung's terms for the unconscious feminine aspect in men and masculine aspect in women. These are powerful archetypal forces within our psyche that strongly influence our attractions and relationships. When we haven't done the work to integrate these inner masculine or feminine aspects, we tend to project them onto our partners in idealized, unrealistic ways. The initial infatuation stage of romance is often driven by these projections. We're not falling in love with the actual person, but with our own projected ideal. And this explains why so many relationships follow a predictable arc: intense attraction and idealization, followed by disappointment and disillusionment when our partner inevitably fails to live up to our unconscious projections. Jung would tell you that the solution isn't to keep searching for someone who will finally match your projections, because such a person doesn't exist. The solution is to reclaim these projections and develop these qualities within yourself. This brings us to another powerful Jungian insight about relationships: the concept of the wounded healer. Many of us carry emotional wounds from childhood, experiences of abandonment, rejection, or not being seen for who we truly are. These wounds shape our approach to love in profound ways. Have you noticed patterns in your relationships that seem to recreate painful dynamics from your past? Perhaps you consistently choose unavailable partners if you experienced emotional neglect as a child. Or maybe you find yourself in controlling relationships if your boundaries weren't respected growing up. Jung understood that these patterns aren't coincidental. Our unconscious mind is actually trying to heal these old wounds by recreating similar situations, giving us a chance to resolve what was left unresolved. But here's the problem. Until we become conscious of these patterns, we simply keep repeating them without healing. The path forward requires bringing these unconscious patterns into consciousness. It means understanding how your early experiences shaped your beliefs about love, about your worthiness, about what you can expect from relationships, and then consciously choosing new patterns. This inner work isn't just about healing past wounds, it's also about developing a relationship with yourself that mirrors what you want with others. If you want a partner who is attentive, caring, and respectful, you must first cultivate these qualities in how you treat yourself. Do you speak to yourself with kindness or criticism? Do you honor your own boundaries or regularly override them? Do you attend to your own needs or constantly put others first? The relationship you have with yourself serves as a template for all other relationships in your life. One of Jung's most profound insights was his understanding of what he called the tension of opposites. Within each of us are seemingly contradictory qualities and needs. We desire closeness, but also independence, security, but also adventure, familiarity, but also novelty. In relationships, these tensions often become externalized, with one partner carrying one side of the polarity and the other partner carrying the opposite. For example, if you've disowned your need for independence, You might find yourself with a partner who seems emotionally distant or commitment phobic. They're expressing the quality you've repressed in yourself. Or if you've disowned your emotional vulnerability, you might attract partners who seem overly sensitive or demanding of emotional connection. The key to resolving these polarized dynamics isn't to change your partner. It's to integrate these opposites within yourself. When you can honor both your need for connection and your need for autonomy, both your desire for security and your desire for growth, you stop projecting these tensions onto your relationships. This internal integration leads to what Jung called the conjunctio, a state of inner wholeness that allows for genuine intimacy with another person, not based on unconscious projections or needs, but on conscious choice and authentic connection. Now, you might be wondering, does this mean I need to be completely healed and whole before I can have a healthy relationship? Absolutely not. Jung understood that individuation is a lifelong process. We're all works in progress. The key isn't perfection, it's consciousness and commitment to growth. In fact, relationships can be powerful catalysts for this inner work. Your partner will inevitably trigger your unresolved issues and bring your unconscious patterns into the light. The question is, will you use these triggers as opportunities for growth and integration, or will you simply blame your partner for your discomfort? Jung described marriage as a psychological relationship, meaning that beyond the social contract, beyond the romantic feelings, a committed relationship serves as a container for profound psychological development. When approached consciously, intimate relationships can be the most powerful vehicle for growth and transformation. But this only happens when both partners are willing to own their projections, face their shadows, and do the difficult inner work of becoming whole. When one or both partners insist on seeing their issues as solely the other person's responsibility, the relationship becomes a battleground rather than a space for healing and growth. There's a beautiful Jungian concept called holding the tension, the ability to sit with uncomfortable feelings and contradictory needs without immediately trying to resolve them or escape them. This capacity is essential for deeper relationships. Most relationship conflicts escalate because we can't hold this tension. When uncomfortable feelings arise, we immediately look for someone to blame or a quick solution to make the discomfort go away. But Jung would encourage us to stay with these tensions, to get curious about what they're revealing about our inner world. For example, if you feel intensely jealous, rather than immediately accusing your partner or suppressing the feeling, you might ask, what is this jealousy showing me about my own insecurities? What unmet needs or fears are being activated? This internal focus transforms relationship triggers from sources of conflict into opportunities for self-knowledge. Another powerful Jungian insight relates to what he called synchronicity, meaningful coincidences that seem to have a purpose beyond mere chance. Jung observed that as we do our inner work and move toward greater wholeness, our external reality often shifts in seemingly magical ways. This applies powerfully to relationships. As you integrate your shadow, develop your inner masculine or feminine aspects, and heal your old wounds, you'll notice changes in how others respond to you. People who triggered your old patterns may drop away, and new connections that support your growth may unexpectedly appear. This isn't mystical thinking. It's a reflection of how our internal state shapes our perceptions, choices, and the energy we bring to our interactions. When you're no longer unconsciously seeking someone to complete you or play out your unresolved dynamics, you become available for a different kind of relationship altogether. So what specific steps can you take to begin this inner work and transform your relationship patterns? First, become aware of your patterns. Look at your relationship history objectively. What types of partners have you consistently chosen? What dynamics repeatedly play out? What roles do you typically take on? Awareness is always the first step toward change. Second, identify your projections. What qualities do you most admire or feel most frustrated by in your partners? These strong emotional reactions, both positive and negative, often point to disowned aspects of yourself. The traits that trigger the strongest reactions in you are usually shadows waiting to be integrated. Third, reclaim responsibility for your own wholeness. This means developing within yourself the qualities you've been seeking in others. If you've been attracted to strength, develop your own strength. If you've been seeking validation, learn to validate yourself. This isn't selfish, it's the foundation for authentic connection. Fourth, heal your relationship with yourself. Practice self-compassion and establish healthy boundaries. Learn to attend to your own needs rather than expecting others to meet them. The relationship you have with yourself is the template for all other relationships. Fifth, approach relationships as opportunities for growth rather than sources of completion. When challenges arise, as they inevitably will, ask what they're revealing about your inner world rather than simply blaming your partner. Use relationship triggers as doorways to greater self-awareness. Sixth, seek balance within yourself. Work to integrate the opposites in your nature, your need for closeness and your need for space, your logical side and your emotional side, your strength and your vulnerability. As you become more internally balanced, your relationships will naturally reflect this integration. Finally, be patient with this process. The patterns you're working to transform didn't develop overnight, and they won't change overnight either. This work takes time, courage, and compassion for yourself and for your partner, who is likely on their own journey of growth. Jung understood that love isn't just a feeling, it's a capacity that develops as we mature psychologically. The ability to truly see another person, separate from our projections and needs, to accept them in their full humanity with both their light and shadow aspects. This is love in its most developed form. And paradoxically, this kind of love becomes possible only when we no longer need someone else to complete us or make us whole. When we're engaged in our own process of individuation, developing our own inner resources and integrating our disparate aspects, we become capable of loving others not for what they can give us, but for who they truly are. This is the profound gift of Jung's insights about relationships. They offer a path not just to better partnerships, but to a more complete experience of our own humanity. By doing the inner work to become the person you want to attract, you create the foundation for love that is both deeply fulfilling and enduring. If you've recognized yourself in any of these patterns, know that you're not alone. We all carry these unconscious dynamics, these projections and shadows. The difference lies in becoming aware of them and consciously choosing a different path. I invite you to take one small step today toward greater self-awareness in your relationships. Perhaps it's reflecting on a pattern you've noticed, journaling about qualities you consistently seek in others, or simply sitting with an uncomfortable emotion rather than immediately reacting to it. Remember, the journey toward wholeness is taken one step at a time. And while this inner work isn't always easy, it offers rewards far beyond just improved relationships. It leads to a more authentic, integrated, and meaningful life overall. If this perspective on love and relationships resonates with you, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Share one insight that particularly struck you, or a pattern you've recognized in your own life. And if you know someone who might benefit from these Jungian insights on relationships, please share this video with them. Sometimes the right message at the right time can be the catalyst for profound change. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss future explorations of Jung's revolutionary insights and how they can transform your life. Thank you for joining me on this journey of self-discovery and authentic love. Remember, the relationship you seek with others begins with the relationship you cultivate with yourself. In Jung's immortal words, your vision will become clear only when you can look into your own heart. Who looks outside dreams. Who looks inside awakes. I'll see you in the next video, where we'll continue exploring the profound wisdom of Carl Jung and how it can illuminate our path toward a more conscious and fulfilling life.